Good morning, Texoma. I'm Ashley Fitzwater. Thanks for joining us for another look inside Texoma. This morning, we're taking you to the city of Electra for the 29th annual Go Barbecue and Craft Show. And joining me now with more is Sherry Strange. She is the manager of the Chamber of Commerce, and Reba Madera. She is the president of the Chamber of Commerce. So thank you both for being here today. Yes. We're excited to talk about this annual event,
yes. So
let's get right to it. What can people expect in Electra this weekend?
This Friday, they can come to Electra for the 29th annual Electra Barbecue and Craft Show. And there is cookers from all over the world, of the state. There will be crafts, there will be games for the kids. It's free to the public, and anyone can come out. We'd love for you to come out and judge some of the meat entries, the food entries. There's just a bit of good time to be had in Electra for this weekend.
Now, you did say goat barbecue, correct?
Goat
we
barbecue.
Heard this correct. So.
Goat barbecue, yes, this is a goat barbecue. This started years ago. There was a young man in Electra named Dennis Taft, and he was a deer hunter. And he would go off to Brady, Texas, and hunt deer. And they always cooked goat and served it. And the people in Electra couldn't believe it was good. So Dennis bought one, and he was going to bring it back to Electra and cook it and show his friends that it was good. But he went out to hunt deer, and the people at the deer camp cooked his goat. So the next year, and he had planned on having a goat barbecue, the first one in 1977, but he didn't have a goat. So he found a friend to help him, and they found a goat in a local pipe yard. They acquired the goat, weighing 14 pounds, and they took it out to the Red River at Bridgetown, and they cooked it and ate it, and that was the first goat barbecue in Electra.
And it's been a tradition since.
It has been a tradition. It stayed on the river for quite a while. Dennis had a sister named Diane, and it got so big at Bridgetown that she got Raby Dickey Sr. to let him go on his land out by the river and actually build a campsite. They would go every year a week in advance and build this campsite.
Wow.
Yes. And it grew from 30 to about 200 people pretty shortly. And it got so big, after 6 years, they couldn't really handle it anymore. And they were, quite expensive to cook and feed that many people.
Sure. So
they asked the city the city asked them to move it into town. So in 1983, they moved it into town. But they had some really good times out at the river. They told us a lot of the things they did out there. They took canoes one year and to ride up and down the river. And when they got ready to go home, they were missing a canoe. They found it down under the bridge in the weeds with one of their friends sleeping in it. So they're really glad they found the canoe that didn't leave anyone.
Yeah.
And one year they went out, and 5 of their wives were pregnant. They always made T-shirts for everybody. And 5 of their wives were pregnant, so they got goat and a half T-shirts for their wives. So they really had a good time, but it grew so big that they were going to disband.
And so then it was moved into Electra to keep
Yes.
that tradition going. 29 years, I understand, is where you're sitting inside city limits.
Inside city,
so.
yes. Yes, in 1983, Jack Hollis and Billy Don Clark asked him to move it into town, so they set up at the rodeo grounds. And they had 13 teams the first year that came and cooked. And it stayed there for a while until 92, I believe. The city purchased some land in the 700 and 800 block of East Cleveland, and they have what we call the Electra Fairgrounds. It covers 2 blocks. And so we have moved it over there. And I think they started numbering from the 29 from the year of the 83 when it moved into town.
So really, I guess you could look at it either way. It's been going on 29 years, 35 years,
Yes.
but 29 years in city limits. So that's the annual event, of course, in
Yes, that's
Electra.
the annual event, yes. Mm-hmm.
And so basically it's a 2-day event.
Yes.
People can come in. It is somewhat of a competition here, like you mentioned.
Yes.
There's different teams and stuff. They're all cooking up goat, is that correct?
Well, goat and other things. In about 95, the Rebecca McCain and Curtis Weddle were named co-chairman of it from the chamber when we had to take it over. And they had cookers coming in, and one of the cookers was with the Lone Star Barbecue Society, and he said, you need to expand your categories. So we added brisket, ribs, chicken, and to the goat. And then in 96, we became sanctioned by the Lone Star Barbecue Society, so the cookers get points. when you win, like if you win first, you get 10 points, and second, you get 9, and so on down the line until 10th place gets first. And you attend all of these cook-offs in the state of Texas, and then they have a big cook-off where the winners, all the grand champions, get invited to this.
Wow.
And it is really a big event.
But this is not a small prize. I mean, we're talking, I believe it's $3,000 in prize money that you're giving away.
Right.
So,
yes.
I mean, that's a lot of money. Is that kind of divided up then, the $3,000, or how does that work?
Well, we give $300 for the grand champion, but in each of the meat categories, we give the top 5.
Okay.
We give 300, 250, and 150, 70, on down. We give 5 top prizes to each category of the meat.
There's lots of winners then.
The more winners, the more people are happy, and the more come back.
That's a
we
good
have
point.
found that out. Yes.
Everybody likes to win something.
Everybody likes to win something.
So after this is cooked up and judged, is that when the public can start taking part in eating, or are they eating throughout?
They
How
can
does
eat
that work?
throughout it. We have a People's Choice Award. They can purchase the tickets at our information tent where we have our T-shirts and hats and things for sale. They purchase a ticket, and they go to each campsite, and for that ticket, they will give you a sample of their cooking. So that's how that.
And how much are the tickets?
$1.
$1. So that's not a lot. And you're basically, would you say you leave full whenever you come in and you get to hit?
Yes, and if you don't do that, we got lots of vendors up there selling funnel cakes and all that stuff.
Well, you can't beat that. So come hungry to Electra. It's Friday and Saturday.
Yes, ma'am.
What are the hours that you're looking at, Terry?
We move down there at 8 o'clock Friday morning, but about 5 o'clock Friday it really gets going.
Friday that evening.
Yes.
So after everybody gets off work, head on out to Electra.
Excuse me, yes, and then all day Saturday.
All day Saturday. So, make it a weekend there. Bring the kiddos, a fun family event, lots of stuff to do. And we're going to get to more of the things that are going on, but we need a quick break. We'll be right back with more. Welcome back to Inside Texoma. Once again, we are talking about the 29th annual Electra Goat Barbecue and Craft Show that's going to be kicking off Friday night. It's also Saturday all day out there in Electra. So we were talking a little bit before about the food, the competition, and you had mentioned that there's also other vendors out there and booths that people can go to. So tell us a little bit about the other things that people can see and do whenever they're out there this weekend.
Well, we have lots of things for the kids to do, but we also have different events like our famous cookie toss. We have shirts from Budweiser, and we take them, and on the back it's printed, "I tossed my cookies Friday night at the Electra Goat Barbecue." But to do this, to get a shirt, you have to pay $5, get up on the stage where the band performs, put your hands behind your back, a cookie in your mouth, and sling it as far as you can. The one that goes the furthest is declared the cookie toss winner that night.
And this is, again, a fundraiser, correct?
A fundraiser,
you're paying $5,
yes,
so...
And, the shirts are donated, and so it's a fundraiser.
Lots of creative things, I understand. Yes. Tell us about some of the other things that you guys do.
We have a very creative chairman that's been doing this for several years, and she has a mind. She thinks of all these things. And we have had a cow patty bingo for years.
Which is like it sounds, or it was like it sounds.
It's like it sounds. You draw like a bingo card on a piece on concrete. We build a pen around it, and you sell the squares. You make squares on it like a bingo card, and you sell the squares. And after all the squares are sold, you let the cow out of the trailer, and she runs around and she poops somewhere. And whatever square she pooped on, if your name's on it, you win half of the money.
And that was a big fundraiser. I understand
it was
you
a very
brought
big
in
fundraiser.
A lot of money for that.
Yes, we did. We'd raise about $2,000, and we'd give back $1,000 to the winner. But we're no longer allowed to have live animals on our property while the cooking is going on. So we do have a 50-50 now. It doesn't attract quite as much attention. On the other one, on the cow patty bingo, we could do maybe 2 of these in a day at the event, and it really helped the funds.
But for health reasons, that's kind of been shut down. It's such a creative idea, but I guess we understand. But
she has some very creative ideas. We also have a Calcutta where we sell the teams. We auction the teams off. We actually have an auctioneer that comes in. He auctions off each team. And the purchaser, when you buy a team, if your team wins first, second, or third in any of the meat categories, you win so much money. We keep 20% for the chamber. The other 80 is divided into 50, 30, and 20. So if your team that you bought wins first prize, you get 50% of that 80.
Wow.
Second prize gets 30, and third prize gets 20.
That's
It's
really
another
good.
fundraiser, but this thing is so big, and by the time you rent your tents and get your ice machines over there and all of that, it's quite expensive to put it on.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And
but it is so good for the bottom line here, which again,
Yes.
it's a fundraiser, you were saying, for the Chamber of Commerce. And why is this so important for Electra and for the Chamber? I mean, both of you are on the Chamber, and so you see firsthand how important these funds are to what it is that you do every day. So can you tell us why that is?
Reba?
It brings many, many people, approximately 2,000 or
Into
more,
Electra.
to Electra for
Wow.
this weekend. And of course that benefits the grocery store, the restaurants, the service stations, everything. And it's,
Increases the sales tax that we get in Electra.
and it's really a tremendous boon to the economy for that weekend.
Hotels too, I understand.
Yes, we
right?
have
They're
hotel.
filling up
Uh-huh.
because
Yes.
these vendors that are coming in, and also the teams, I'm sure, they're not all from Electra or even Texoma necessarily.
No, most
right?
of them bring their RVs. A lot of them have an RV, or some of them just camp out on the ground down there. But the Dollar General manager a few years back told us it was better than Christmas Eve on that
Wow.
weekend. That they took in more. And he learned the first year, next year, I better have lots of styrofoam ice chest and lots of paper plates and paper cups. So
He knew what the top selling items
yes, he
were.
knew the top stuff. Oh, and our local grocery store purchases the goats, and you can purchase your goat through them, the Electra Food Market. If Alan has a cutoff date, I'm not sure what it is, but if you need a goat, they're not sold in every grocery store.
Yeah.
And if you need a goat, he special orders those for the cookers. So if you need one, you need to contact him.
So I have to ask, I don't think I've ever had goat. So tell us how it is. So, if there's someone out there, maybe, is adventurous, they'd love to try something like this. We want to hear from you ladies. How does it taste?
If it's cooked properly, it's good. We've had it compared to brisket and to chicken. So I've tasted it, and it's not bad. But like I say, we know which teams to go to if we want a taste of it. Like the Lions Club or the fire department's been cooking it for years. They're the ones that really know how to cook it.
So there you go. If you've never tried it and, you're just a little terrified maybe,
Yes,
or scared or unsure, you can either come up, of course, to Sherry or Reba, and they'll remind you, or you said,
Yes.
who is it, the fire
The
department?
Electra Fire Department or the Electra Lions Club, they've been cooking with us ever since. I've been with it since 1990, and they've been there ever since I have.
So go find their
Yes.
booth. Huh? Going back kind of to the vendors, I understand there's going to be lots of different things
Yes.
that you can purchase as well, maybe like Scentsy or hair bows for little kids or something, and you're still looking for vendors, correct?
Yes, we had a Scentsy dealer, but she canceled on us this year, so at this time we don't have one. But we do have Gypsy Girl Bling, which is the jewelry and the well, I don't know what you call it, the different wear.
Sure, the different bling and
different
stuff.
blings
Yeah,
and
sure.
things like that. We have one lady that sells rocking chairs. She builds them.
Wow.
And we have lots of jewelry booths. And right now, and we have a mechanical bull for the kids. And we have a new game that we've never had. We're going to try this year called Water Wars. And there's two little buildings, and these people throw water balloons at each other, and there's holes in the roof. And you try to get your other opponent wet. We're going to try it. We had to ban water weenies and stuff because the kids were wetting the wrong people.
Yeah.
But we're going to try that one this year. And then we have an inflatable slide and a bounce house for the kids. And there's one coming called Euro Bungee that we're not sure what that is. But it's for the kids.
Absolutely.
We'll try almost anything for
Once.
There you go, and let you know if it works. Huh?
Yes, if it
Works.
works.
They're not invited back.
That's true.
Now, is this something, so for each thing, if I wanted to ride the mechanical bull, or if the kids wanted to jump in the bounce house, are you buying a ticket, or do you pay?
The
at
vendors
each
pay
thing?
a booth rent.
Okay.
We charge a $50 booth rent for the 2 days, and it's a 25 by 25 foot square of outside. You bring your own canopy, your wagon, if you have a concession wagon or something, and whatever they make's theirs. So it's it's a lot of vendors from Electra will be there, but there's others from out of town also.
And
Now,
again,
the booth fee is all we get out of it.
That's all we
that's
get.
all you get out of it. And again, you're looking for more vendors. So
Yes,
if
more
someone's
vendors.
interested, who do they need to contact? How do they need to go about doing that?
They can call the Chamber of Commerce at 495-3577. They can go to our website, electratexas.org, and our email address is on there. I get a lot of entries through emails, and they can try any of the, and if we're not there, it means we're outside or in the back, just leave us a message. We will call you back. So,
Sure, it's going to be a busy week. They're
Yes,
preparing.
yes,
So
it is.
send the email or leave a message.
Yes.
And, you know, we have so much more to get to. I know even the fee for if people are going to be coming out there. So we'll get to that in just a second. We need one more quick break. So stay with us, Texoma. We'll be right back with more.